TikTok. What's going on? Will they close the TikTok? Will it be operating? What do we know about it? Now, if you are watching the news, you probably heard that there was one Congress hearing after another, and there is something going on with TikTok. Will they really ban it? I don't know. I think that the platform so big is really hard to ban, because in my experience, I lived in the very different countries, including in China. Even if they ban, I mean, the problem in China is the language, so people don't speak English. However, when they need to go to Google, they just use a VPN and they go to Google. If you don't know, Google is banned in China. Everything that pretty much you use here, Instagram, Facebook, everything is banned in China. That's why American government, I think they're late with the TikTok. It should have been banned, or whatever they want to do. They had to do it 3, 4, 5 years ago before it came into existence here. And now it's got really popular. It's not easy. So they came with the different plans. I'm going to talk about it. But first, you have to understand how China manipulates companies to use those companies for their own interests. So one of the richest men, I believe at a certain time period, he was actually the richest man in Asia, Jack Ma, the owner of Alibaba. He was just kidnapped in the middle of the day by Chinese government. I mean, obviously no one is telling that, but the guy disappeared. He was a very public person. He was just not in the public for, I want to say, about a month. After 1 month, he came, they released him. It was probably a financial thing. They just probably wanted some information and some money or influence or shares in Alibaba, and this way, after a certain period of time, they released him. He started to reappear again, but he was kind of depressed. I mean, you could see that it's not like that easy. Obviously, there are conspiracy theories all over the world, but in China, they don't even trying to hide it. Now, obviously, TikTok is one of the tools that Chinese government would 100% use to manipulate the public opinion, to get the data they want to get, because they don't have really boundaries of whatever they can or cannot do. In the United States, if there was a scandal, I believe the spy, Edward Snowden, he disclosed that the United States was listening, trying to spy on their allies like Germany and other countries. It was a huge scandal. In China, no one would be surprised, because I'm 100% sure that China does spy on whoever they can spy on. Now, why is TikTok is taking over? That's another very interesting thing. I think that they did really good job. Obviously, they stashed like a bunch of money, investments to the platform, but that was not only the money that changed the game. They were very flexible. So if you didn't notice all this Reels thing, I think the stories, the Instagram, they were able to take it from Snapchat, which pretty much almost killed the platform. But the Reels, they actually came from TikTok. Now, if you're watching guys like Gary Vee, which TikTok was called previously Musical.ly or something like that, or it was a 2 platforms and one acquired another. The whole point is that the short video content, that was the future. If you don't know, there was another platform called Vine. I believe that's why they call those guys Viners, that came about 10 years ago. But the problem was that internet back 10 years ago wasn't this fast as it is right now. Now you can just open TikTok, swipe, check the one video after another. It keeps you on the platform. While with Vines, it took forever. First of all, the quality was crappy, and second of all, it would take forever to upload a certain video. That's why it didn't actually work out. I believe they exited, they sold someone, but that doesn't matter. The point is that TikTok was taking the market from Facebook very strongly. As strong that Instagram had to copycat. So for last, I want to say 5-10 years, Instagram understood that they had to, by Instagram I mean Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, they have to do something with their algorithm to stay alive. Otherwise, people just would switch to the other platforms. This is how they adopted the stories from the Snapchat. This is how they adopted the Reels from TikTok, and they're trying to work on their algorithm. Now, if you don't remember, the Instagram, initially it was a platform that only had the pictures. And back in the day, it would make sense because there was no internet with this high speed. There was no 5G. I think when they came up, there was not even a 4G. We used to use 3G, and only thing you could do, you could just swipe the pictures, which was also was a very low quality. This was one of the reasons why TikTok was taken over. But if you haven't heard about this book, there's a very interesting book by Gary Vee again, Jab, Left Hook. So you give freemium, and then you start to sell something. When you have the people who up on the platform, then only you offer something. And eventually, I believe it started about 6 months ago or so, TikTok started to sell stuff on the platform. I personally was curious and I bought some stuff. Actually, it was yesterday, it hadn't yet arrived, but this changed a lot. Although Facebook is a strong company, they have competition here. They have YouTube, they compete with, they used to have Snapchat. They don't really probably care about Snapchat anymore because I think no one uses it. They ended up, I believe, Zuckerberg, he had very smart strategy. He bought WhatsApp, he bought Instagram. I'm 100% sure if he could, he would bought YouTube, but YouTube is being owned by Google, and Google is probably like 2-3 times bigger company than the Facebook is right now. They were not able to buy TikTok because TikTok is also backed by the Chinese Communist Party money, and they don't really need the money that Facebook could offer for the TikTok. So what they do, they try to compete with them, but they are not strong enough. But when TikTok started to sell stuff, that was direct challenge to Amazon, who got involved and interested in having TikTok sold. Obviously, Mr. Bezos. So what happens when you have people like Mr. Zuckerberg and Mr. Bezos who are interested in a platform like TikTok to be sold out? Obviously, we start to see Congress hearings. Now, again, in my personal opinion, it had to happen 3, 4, 5 years ago, not right now, because it's already late. They got a bunch of data. They manipulate whoever they want to manipulate. There is another thing that in China, although the TikTok is called with a different name, they have a same platform and it promotes, science, it promotes the maths to the kids. Here, if you would go to the TikTok, most of the time it would promote dumb stuff to you. People dancing meaninglessly, shouting, screaming, doing crazy stuff, or Megan Thee Stallion shaking her booty in front of you, which is obviously not something intellectual and would not have a good influence on your kids. There was also another rumor that Elon Musk could buy TikTok because the Congress passed, I believe, it's not a law yet as far as I know, but something like that. There were rumors were that the whole point would be that they will force TikTok to be sold to the third party American company, which is smart, or they just have to shut down operations and move on. Obviously, I think they will choose TikTok to be sold, which is interesting because under Trump, I remember there were also hearings when there were negotiations between the Walmart. It was the same stuff. Someone had to buy them. Something happened and Walmart backed up. I think they just decided not to too much distract and focus on the retail because they have a competitor like Amazon they have to fight. So what happened is pretty much whole hype, it went away and TikTok kept operating. I think that one of the people who could buy it would be probably Elon Musk, especially considering that he has Twitter now. If he will combine Twitter with TikTok, it will be crazy. However, there's another thing. I don't think he have enough money right now because he's pretty much spread very thin with Tesla, with TikTok, and integrating these two platforms, it will be like a total headache. He could do it, but I really don't think that he would do it. Probably someone with BlackRock money will come and just get it, or they will just shut down. That's my prediction. Now, this will change the whole social media and how it operates. The social media is really lucrative. I would say the most lucrative business that you could get in. You're pretty much selling the air. You're selling the news, and you get paid different ways. First, you get paid by the people who are doing the advertising. Secondly, you promote whatever political power you want to promote, which there are rumors that many platforms lean toward Democratic Party, and that's actually one of the reasons why the Congress has these hearings right now, because there is an election year now. But this is all our theories. I mean, I don't personally get them very seriously. However, the big change will be that any company that will have overseas money will have second thoughts before going into the United States market. That's going to be a big thing. It wasn't like this before this happened. Personally, I think TikTok will keep existing or in this or some other form, or probably Instagram Reels will just take over. Thank you for watching, and I would like to mention that this video is sponsored by my company. We help landlords to maximize their rental income. Normally, we take the property, say it's been rented for $3,000. We'll help landlord to make about $5,000 and charge about 10% from the profits. This is what we do. If you guys interested, if you're a landlord and looking for that company that would help you with getting more rent, just letting you guys know, I'm also a realtor in California. Any part of California you're looking for real estate, property for yourself, to live with the family, or for investment, I'm your guy. Feel free to hit me up. Another thing with TikTok that caught my attention was how algorithm used to be much better than Instagram's algorithm. So back in the day when TikTok just came, Instagram's algorithm was showing you random stuff that was not related. Fortunately or unfortunately, they were able to adjust the Instagram's algorithm. I think he hired very smart people, AI, driven database and stuff. Now pretty much you don't see anything sudden. In TikTok, it came from TikTok first. So TikTok would catch up your attention, whichever video you would watch a little more, and they will just feed you this content. Now Instagram is 10 times, it's pretty much TikTok on steroids. If you would watch one video that is related to certain thing, it will just keep you showing same stuff unless you would redirect your attention. Can TikTok really spy on you? 100%. Any program you would download. I read another article a couple days ago that China actually was trying to break into the networks of the United States households in different states by connecting their robo vacuum to that network. So it's pretty sophisticated, but at the same time, you pretty much, whatever device you connect to your network, it has ability to go into the network and control the other devices. That's why there was a huge problem. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Whoever is working in medical field, everybody was complaining lately about the cyber attacks. And in the medical field, okay, it's a different story if someone will try to manipulate your refrigerator, spoil your meat, maybe spoil your milk. But if they're going into the medical system, into the hospital, and someone is connected to the oxygen machine, guess what happens when they're stop that oxygen machine? Yeah, that person pretty much stopped to exist. So that's actually a very serious matter. And if you didn't pay attention, there was no question on the iPhones before when you would download any app and it would not ask you, do you allow this app to connect your local network devices or not. Now Apple had this about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, update where whatever app you would download, it will ask you, do you allow this app to connect to your network? And obviously I do not advise to allow any app to connect to your network and control the devices on your network, because it's pretty much you're exposing yourself for cyber cracks. Now what would that mean for ordinary Americans who are on TikTok? Personally, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, although I have a page on TikTok. If you guys are not following me, make sure to follow me on the TikTok too. The thing that I've seen on TikTok, that the algorithm is really strong. You pretty much get shown 10 times of whatever you would be shown on Instagram or YouTube. However, most of the time it's not the quality leads. People are trying to use their spare time watching videos, or maybe even fake bots, you never know. I don't think that it will make huge changes in the average American's life, because if you're not a creator on TikTok, if you're not depending on that platform, probably you will spend I want to say maybe 0.5% of your time on that platform. And if it would not exist, it would not change or cause any significant change in your life. I think TikTok would have chance to influence the retail, because they started to sell stuff online. It was cheaper than on Amazon, free delivery and stuff. Of course, it's being delivered from China mostly. Another innovation I saw, that the live sales. So what happens, if you remember in the 90s, there were like live sales. The person would go live on the TV, they would advertise some kind of ring, the smart mob, and they would sell it online. And TikTok did it pretty much over the internet, which it was innovation, but I don't really think that it would work that crazy. Overall, I don't think that business-wise that platform meant a lot, but yeah, of course there were like influencers who made crazy money, but overall I think it would not cause drastic changes. As a potential buyers, again, I see definitely a venture capital, Elon Musk, maybe Walmart, I don't think so, maybe Jeff Bezos, but overall I think that what we will see, that someone will take over. So if you guys like this video, if you're a TikTok fan, make sure to put it in the comments. I would be looking forward to hear from you on the next videos. Have a good one.